Internet folk. Hello to the Tiddlerhood, and hello to fans of the basic programming language. No news, no changes as far as the IDE goes for a basic anywhere machine. But I had a thought this morning related to the possibility of programming BASIC without the IDE. Now, I do intend on getting this IDE fully working, all the menu items and whatever else we'd expect in an IDE, so that way if somebody wants to use www basic in Basic Anywhere Machine, you can just stay in the IDE and do anything you want. Now, everything in TiddlyWiki is a tiddler, including the IDE. The IDE is all stuff that's inside of a tiddler. So in this particular case, we just happen to be viewing the tiddler in full screen mode. Now, every program inside of Basic Anywhere Machine, for example this one here, every program is stored in a tiddler. Now let's go take a peek at that. It's this one right here. The typical TiddlyWiki interface will have buttons such as these ones here, but what I've done is I've added some more buttons to the tiddler interface, if you will. For example, run. So that way, while we're working in TiddlyWiki au naturel, we can actually run the programs without having to go into the IDE. So click on run, and bang, there's your program showing up in the console. Now I want a step further with this. When we edit a tiddler, I've also added a diff button. So let's say that we make some changes to our basic program. Right now we're looking at the draft version. TiddlyWiki has a draft mechanism, which is pretty awesome. It means no effort on my part or your part. So let's say we change this, and let's change the data for this program. Let's say that we want the Marx Brothers, and we're going to throw Charlie in there as a Marx Brother wannabe, and we'll change the rest of the filter, TiddlyWiki filter here. So now we've got an altered version of our program. And I've added the diff button here, which when we click on it, we get to see what changes that we made to the original. So there we can see that, okay, I've added all of this to the TW filter here to produce data for the basic program. Now, let's close this for a second, and we're going to need this for later, so let me copy that. Let's close and not save the changes. Something really neat with this setup is, if you think of it, you run the program before changing it, which brings up the console. Now if we pull this console aside for a second, and then we edit, we put back those changes that we had a while ago, notice that the original program is still available to us as far as the output goes. And now that we've made a change to it, we can check the diff viewer to see what changes we made. But when we run this before saving, now we get a second console window popping out open, and we see that we've got an error. Duh. Let's fix that. There. And now we can compare the output of the modified version of the program before saving it to the original program, and we can look and say, okay, either we don't like it and we fix it, or we're happy with the results and we can go ahead and save it. Now let's open up the diff window and show something else too, is that if we want to, we can keep that diff window open and see the differences as we type them. So let's say that we want to add another set of remarks here. You can see the diffs as they happen. So all of a sudden, working outside of the IDE in TiddlyWiki mode, interface mode if we will, if we want to call it that, we've got access now to some pretty powerful stuff as far as programming goes. And now, having done all of this, it's giving me some ideas as to how to implement the IDE. I kind of had a rough idea of what I was going to do to it, but now that I've done this inside of TW proper, I'm thinking the IDE. I may change the way I was doing it so that way we have access to this kind of capability right here from the IDE, and not have to go into TiddlyWiki proper to get this good stuff. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. I'll put some links below the video so you can access the latest version of this, and links to tiddlywiki.com, etc., etc. Cheers.